What is up, guys? Welcome to another epic tutorial here over at Poly Academy Tutorials. Today we're going to look at something really cool, which I think is the particle emitter. Basically, this is just a system that, as it says in the name, emits lots of particles. What we're going to do is we're going to create our own particles and make the emitter system emit that. I'm going to create a simple little scene, maybe a little chimney factory thing, and that'll really help us show what exactly this particle system is capable of. So if you're ready, open up Cinema and let's jump right in. What we're going to do first is we're going to start off with a big tube. Basically this is going to be where our particles will come out. We're going to simulate some cartoonish looking smoke basically. Let's make this nice and thick, wide. This is going to be the base of our factory, what we're going to make. And we're going to open up a little cube. Put this a little bit higher. Make sure it's on the ground as well. Looks nice and wide, nice and tall. Look at that. Professional. Let's give this building some width as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the cube itself is editable. We're going to select these two points, drag them down, give the structure a bit of a more industrial look. We're going to create a little texture for our building, like a little off yellow, white. Let's grab our chimney smoke spout thing, drag it over to the side. If we want, we can make it a little bit higher. What we want to do then is go over to MoGraph, select Mode Text, just to create some interesting details. We're going to spin the text around. Also, if you hold down Shift while moving an object, it will move it within 10-degree segments at a time. Select this over there inside our building. If we select Mode Text, we'll give it a text section here. We could change the text. Let's put factory, if I could spell factory. I'm going to use a nice standard font, maybe Gotham. Oh, I know a really good one. Where to go? That says factory right there. Okay, let's create a nice black, strong color for the font and throw that onto our word. Whoopsie, wrong one. Let's do that. Look at that. If that doesn't say Industrial Revolution, don't know what does. Okay, next thing we want to do is we want to go over to Simulate. Let's go over to Particles and hit the particle emitter. Let's drag this, hide the floor for a second. Drag this over here. As you can see, it is standing up, so if we hit play, particles will come out this way. Basically what's happening here is this is represented the particles in the viewfinder. Obviously the more lines there are, the more particles that it's emitting, and the longer the line is, the speed of the line. So if we look at our birth rate editor, inside the editor here we are getting 10 I think every second, and then we can set this up to when we actually render it as well. The start emission is basically from which frame it starts emitting, pretty basic, and then the seed is basically just, not actually too sure, I've never actually played with that. Just look at that. It's basically used to create a pattern. Let's skip that back to 0. The lifetime is basically how long, for how many frames each particle will last for, and the speed is obviously the speed, how many centimeters it comes out of the thing at. So end scale basically allows you to scale up the particle from big birth rates to death rate scale or size. Then rotation obviously changes the rotation of the actual object. What we're going to do is rotate the actual emitter by 90 degrees, and we want to scale it down so that it will fit with inside our chimney thing here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but helps. Okay, so that fits inside there. Let's drag it up a bit. That looks about right. So if we had to go back here, turn the floor back on, I hit play, we're going to get a few particles coming out of our factory chimney here. But that doesn't look exactly right. So let's create a few smoke particles. Let's grab a platonic as usual, drag that over here, create a nice smoky texture by using the color like a light grey. We also want to reduce the specular. You don't want your smoke to be reflecting light. And then hit transparency. And we're going to drag transparency at about 40%, 44%. And then drag that onto our platonic here. Basically, if I render that out, you should be able to see through the thing there. Look at that. Okay, cool. Now let's scale this down to about that size. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our platonic here. Let's rename this to smoke particle. We're going to drag this and create or make it a child of our emitter parent here. So now that our smoke particle is a child, whatever the emitter emits will emit that if we set it here to show objects. Now, as you can see, if you toggle show objects on, the actual child object, which is our smoke particle, disappears. And then we hit play, and this is what's coming out of our thing. Pretty simple, but that doesn't look right yet. So let's hit back to our emitter, change the birth rate editor to about 24. Let's change our speed to about 200. The lifetime to about 15 frames. Let's see what that looks like so far. Let's change the lifetime to about 45 frames. That's starting to look better. Okay, cool. Now what we want to do is we want to change the variation of the lifetime, all the lifetime, the speed, the rotation, the end scale, just to give it more life and look more organic. So let's change this to about 25%, speed variation to about 20%, rotation to about 26% maybe. Let's change that to about 45. And the end scale, we want to change that to about 3, but we'll vary that up to about 45. Let's see what that looks like now. So as we can see, particles are getting bigger because of the end scale. Let's change it back to 1.4. Vary that up. Epic. Our rotation, we want to rotate it about 145 degrees, maybe less, maybe 65, and vary that to about 26% within that bracket. That's looking really nice and organic. Change the variation, so some are faster than others. Look at that. And there you have it. That's basically how the particle emitter works. Thanks again for watching. Hope you have an awesome day. If you have any positive or negative feedback, let me know. Check out the website for more details, any more tutorials. Thanks again for watching. Cheers for now.